Hi, my friends. How are you guys doing? We are going to be talking about another bill that just has been introduced, and this is not a bill dealing with suppressors like we have with the HPA, the Hearing Protection Act, or the Shush Act, and it's not the Disband the NFA Act or the Disband the ATF Act. It's not even the Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act. What this bill is the deregulation of short barrel rifles, short barrel shotguns, and any other weapons from the NFA. This bill was introduced by our friends who I've talked to quite a bit, actually. Um, Andrew Clyde, who is a very pro gun representative, and Robert Marshall. They have introduced a bill that's called the Short Act. Short, get it? Short barrel shotgun, short barrel rifles. What this bill would do is it would deregulate SBRs, SBSs, and AOWs from the NFA. If you don't know what an AOW is and any other weapon, it could be anything, right? But that is kind of like a wallet gun, for example, or a anything that doesn't fit like a definition, like a wallet gun, for example, or a master key, or I even saw a desk that had a gun built into it. That was considered an AOW. So, what? How about the federal agencies? Yeah, I'm going to do a video on that tomorrow, but a lot of people did a video on that today. So that will be come off tomorrow. We'll talk about that a little bit later if you want. But right now, we're just going to cover this act. So Andrew Clyde and Marshall, what they want to do is they want to remove these different classification of firearms from the NFA. Now, one of the question is, why is SBRs and SBSs regulated in the first place? This is definitely an interesting question because the answer is kind of silly. When the NFA was being debated, handguns was part of the NFA originally. They put in there SBRs and SBSs because they thought people were going to get short barrel rifles and short barreled shotguns to get around NFA regulations on handguns. Well, handguns got removed from the NFA. What they did not remove is the SBR, SBSs, and AOWs. They left those in. They were meant to close so-called loopholes. But there was no loopholes because handguns got removed during the debate. But they never removed the closing of the loopholes. And that's why you can't have a shotgun less than with a barrel less than 18 and a half inches or a rifle with a barrel less than 16 inches. It does not make it any more deadly. It probably actually makes it less deadly. It does make it a little bit concealable, but a pistol is a hell of a lot more concealable. That's the reason why it was introduced as part of the NFA. This bill would fix that and remove them. Let's go ahead and talk about the chances of this getting through. It has a long way to get through, right? The first thing it has to get through is the House of Representatives. The Shockwave is considered a Title I firearm because it's not a okay. Well, the Shockwave is an interesting thing. We'll get to that in a minute. But uh, if this goes through the House, which there's a good chance that it will make it through the House, there is a slight Republican majority in the House with Mia Love dying that has kind of shrunk a little bit, but there's still enough Republicans to get it through the House, even with some that's not going to vote for it. One of the uh, Patrick Fitzsimmons out of Pennsylvania, he's not going to vote for this. He's totally gun control guy and he's a Republican. But with the other Republicans, it does have a chance of making it through the House of Representatives. The second stop for it would be the Senate. The Senate, you need a supermajority to get anything through because you need closure and you got to end the debate, and you can't end the debate with less than 60 votes. the filibuster, basically. I don't think that they have enough to get it through the Senate, so it's probably going to fail in the Senate. That brings up the question to why we like to see this stuff being introduced. And nothing usually gets introduced at the first try. Nothing actually, not introduced. Nothing usually gets through on the first try. Nothing usually gets through on the second try. What you do is you keep on building, 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 building support over time. So when you do have the majority and both, even though you have a majority in the Senate, you need 60, and you have a supermajority in the Senate and a majority in the House, you can get stuff passed through. Also, there could be a shifting of political winds, which we are actually seeing shifting in political winds where Democrats are coming more to the gun side than ever before, or more to the gun side than ever in the last 3 decades. So hopefully that trend will keep on coming, and eventually we will have enough people that are pro gun in the Senate and also the House to get it passed, and President Trump will sign this if this gets to his desk. I don't think it will get to his desk this time, but in the future, who knows? So this bill is a good start. It doesn't really have a shot of getting all the way through, but we got to keep on introducing these bills. Also, it brings awareness. By introducing these bills, you can show people that are on the fence what is going on. And James Vickery, I'm going to bring that up. But there is another way we can get this passed, and we can attach it to must pass legislation like the NDAA or a CR or something like that, right? Or through, some type of must pass legislation. We can attach it there, and I think that's what we need to be doing. I can see that happening, and I'm pretty sure that like, national reciprocity might be attached there, and the Shush Act or the APA, probably more the not APA, but sorry, the, HPA, probably more the HPA than the Shush Act, but I can see the HPA being attached to must pass legislation, and it can still carry reciprocity. I can absolutely seeing that attached to must pass legislation. So we will, yeah. This bill deregulates BS. It does. So we'll probably see some of these bills get wrapped into must pass legislation. Whether it's this bill gets attached or not, this bill probably doesn't have a great chance of being attached to must pass legislation, but can still carry reciprocity does, and so does probably the HPA. So we'll have to see. Yeah. Attach it right to a government. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Attaching it to a bill that must pass to keep the government running. But we'll see what happens here. I just wanted to make you guys aware of what is going on, and this bill is coming out. I haven't had a chance to do a video this today. Been busy with other stuff, so I definitely wanted to talk to you guys. Um, there is a couple other questions here about the Shockwave, the 14-inch Shockwave. Okay. The TAC 14 Shockwave, they have a 14-inch barrel, and they are shotgun-like, I should say. There's 2 definitions of a shotgun. One's in the NFA and one is in the GCA. There is slight differences in both. Like, one says smooth bore and the other one doesn't. So there is a way because the where the TAC 14 and the Shockwave fit, it doesn't meet the definition of a NFA shotgun, but it does meet the definition of a Title I firearm under the GCA. That's why you see the little bird knob on it. If you were to take the bird head off the back of a Shockwave or a TAC 14 and put a pistol grip on there, that would change the length to be less, and then it would be a smooth bore pistol under the NFA, which is an NFA item. So that's why you see the bird head. So the Shockwave and TAC 14 are classified as firearms and not classified as shotguns. Uh, the DOJ wants to join the DEA and ATF together. I do not like that. I do not like that. We need to defund, strip the ATF of their power, and then we need to dismantle the ATF. We need to defund, strip them of their power, and then abolish them in that order. Because if you don't defund them, they're going to be able to do whatever they want until their power gets stripped. Once you strip them of the power, you want to abolish them only after you strip them of the power, because if you don't do that, those powers are going to go to a different agency, and it wouldn't make any sense just to strip them of that power and let the agency continue. And the power shut down the agency and let the power continue under a different agency. So that's why you need to defund first. That is a band-aid. The defunding is the band-aid. They can't really act if they don't have the funds to do anything. Now you want to keep the NFA division running, so you don't want to strip funds from the NFA division, but the enforcement division, absolutely. Defunded enforcement division. That is the Band-Aid. Then you strip them of their power. The reason why you strip them of your power is because you wanna defang them before you put them out of their misery, because you don't want those things going over to the FBI or Homeland Security or whatever. You wanna defang them, and then only then you abolish them. That's just what I think, and I am going to put out a video going into my thoughts tomorrow. I just haven't had a chance to actually put it together yet, but I am gonna be doing it tomorrow. But I figured this bill was important enough to get out to you guys so you guys know what is going on, so you're informed. What you can do is you can call your congressman and ask them to back the Short Act. Ask them to sponsor the Short Act, ask them to back the Short Act. Because we gotta get it out of the committee first, and then it has to go to the floor, and then it has to be voted to the floor. Right now, concealed carry reciprocity has been passed out of committee with a favorable recommendation, and that is going to the floor. I believe the concealed carry reciprocity is going to pass out of the House and go to the Senate, and then when it gets to the Senate, I believe it's going to be attached to some type of must-pass legislation. Can't say that for sure, but yeah. And with that, we are out of here. Oh yeah, by the way, polymer80.us.com is not a real website. I did some tracking. The security wasn't the best. I tracked it down to a guy in Cameroon who runs a bunch of fake websites. So don't go buying Polymer 80s from polymer80.us.com. It's not the real site. And with that, we are out of here. All my congressmen are gun grabbing weenies too, so I know how that is. All right, thank you guys. I'll look out for my video tomorrow, and we'll go more into it, and maybe I'll get it done tonight. All right, a court of public opinion. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Bob John. I like your second name. I like your first name too. But thank you so much for the support, and thank you everyone out there. And Johnny Three Bar always on the spot with a congressional switchboard. Fluffy Bunny Arsenal. You missed the live stream today too over on Rumble at John Crump Live on Rumble. But with that, we're out of here. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys later.